Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Keith once again with Craps TX. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, please hit that thumbs up for us, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when a new video comes out. So today we are going to run a strategy that I've been actually testing out a lot in the evenings, and I've been doing fairly well with it. It is by CZVegas. There's his banner right down there. Chicago Mike, I believe, is his name that he goes by. It is the 122 inside. Sounds a little different. It is a little different. We'll get to it in just a moment. First of all, I'd like to thank my two partners. We have PokerChipMania.com. They have the clay chips like this, ceramic chips, casino grade chips, and these composite striped dice chips like I use here. They've also got the 19 millimeter dice chip cases, or chip racks rather, cases that the racks go in. And they've also got supplies for poker, blackjack, and some other card games. And right now, if you use that code right down there at the bottom of that banner, CRAPSTX10, you'll get 10% off your entire order. That's Poker Chip Mania, some quality gear for your home casino setup. Next up, we have grip mats. That's gripmats.etsy.com. That's the makers of this deluxe grips mat right here. They also have a regular craps mat, and they've got some other mats for blackjack, poker, baccarat. They've also got some licensed designs from Marvel, DC, Dune, and Star Wars, and a ton of home game mats like chess, checkers, and backgammon. If you don't see anything on there that you're looking for, just reach out to them. They do custom orders as well, and they also run some percentage off discounts right there on the product pages. That's gripmats.etsy.com. Links for both of those are going to be in the description below, along with some other links to go check out to support the channel. Thank you. All right, so let's get to this strategy. First of all, let's get to the money. It is 122 inside. I'm going to set up enough for 5 shooters. So I've got 122 there 4 times, and here it is spread out, 1, 20, and 2. That adds up to 660. So I'm going to put another 40 in. I'm sorry, 610. I'm going to put another 40 in just to make it 650. So we'll just kind of leave that to the side. Actually, I'll put that back in this rack over here, and we'll move both of these back and get ready to start this strategy. But first of all, let me show you the pressing strategy. 122 inside. I'll probably put these down in a Google Docs or whatever and put a link down in the description below. It may not be right away, but I'll get one down there eventually. If not, you can pause right now and write all that down. I'll give you a few minutes and we're back. Okay. Pause, hopefully, if you did yourself. But the pressing strategy you see on the 5 and 9, we start out with 25, 36, 36, and 25. Excuse me. So on the 5s, like 5 and 9, first hit, you win 35, so you go up to 35. Second hit, you win 49, you press up to 75. Third, you win 105, you go to 150, and then you start all over again just by adding a 0 onto each of those amounts. So the 150 hits, you win 210, so you go to 250, which is like the 25 down here, and so on and so on and so on. 6 and 8, similar press pattern. 36 pays 42. You're going to win, or you're going to press to 42, or go to 42 rather. 42 wins 49. You go to 90. 90 wins 105. You go to 180, and then it starts over again with the zeros at the end. 36, 42, 90, 360, 420, 900. And you can kind of see the pattern. He doesn't play the 4 or 10, but he says if he does, if he gets up a little bit, just to keep doubling each hit on that. So let's move these out of the way. This is his object is to get to table max. Whatever table max is at your casino that you're playing at, try to get that number to the table max and then just collect. Yes, it's going to take a good long roll by yourself or by somebody else. You don't have to be the shooter in this instance, but he does shoot a couple of times. He's actually got this series going on right now. I think he's on the 8th video or so. It's 122 to table max or something like that, I believe is what it's called. Anyway, let's go ahead and get us a set of dice and get started. We'll roll it out. It's always a little bit better to see it than to sit here and talk about it. So we will take those right there, and we're looking for a point coming out. Dice out. There is a hard 10. All right, we'll take that. So say you could play the hard 4 and hard 10 also if you'd like. But let's go ahead and get this 122 out. The dealer might kind of look at you funny. They did me when I was playing it a couple of weekends ago. But just tell them 25 on the 5 and 9, 36 on the 6 and 8, and they'll set it up for you. And after a couple of shooters, they'll have it down as far as what you're trying to do. So there we go. We're set up. Let's go ahead and start hitting some of these inside numbers, hopefully. The 122 to table max. You got to hit that back wall shooter. There is a hard 6. That 36 is going to pay 42. If you remember our press pattern, we're going to go to 42. His object is try to hit each one of those numbers. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do it, in a row or in sequence. But once you hit a number, it's paid for. So like that 6 has just been paid for. So if you get all 4 of them, then you're playing with profit at that point. Dice out. There's a hard 6 or a hard 12, whatever. Boxcars, midnight. Get it straight, Keith. 6-5 yo. If you saw that horn, hopefully you bet that horn. See a horn, bet a horn. And a 6-1-7. So just like that, the first shooter is done, and we only hit one number, so we didn't really get our investment back at all. We'll go ahead and put this back to the rack behind there and get set up for our next shooter. We'll just use the same dice, kind of keep things flowing a little bit. Dice out, looking for a point. We're going to go to the other side, the 3-1-4, and then throw out again our 122. Dealers set me up inside. 25 on the 5 and 9, 36 on the 6 and 8. All right, and now let's hit those inside numbers. Dice out. No, right away. Boom. Well, I'm just going to leave that there. That way we don't have to go through the motions of setting it up again. We'll go ahead and get another point set. New shooter, dice out. And there's a 2. Craps, that was a 2. Well, it was a 2. Dice out. And a 5-1-6. All right, 6 will be our point. We'll go ahead and buy in. There's our 122. And that is 25, 36, 36, and 25. So shooter number 3. One of these shooters out of 5 hopefully is going to do something for us. Dice are out. Yes, you should buy in for more than $650 or whatever it was I bought in for, especially if you want to get through 10 shooters. You're going to look at, $1,200, $1,300. There is a 6-2-8. All right, that 36 is going to pay 42. Dealer take me up to 42, and they'll just slide that 36 back over your way. All right, dice out. 122 to table max is seen on CZVegas, his channel. 6-5 yo 11. No help, no harm. And there's a 2x4-6. That's going to be point hit, and we're also going to get another one of these pressed up. That 36 pays 42. Dealer take me up to 42. Get that 36 back. So we've got 2 of our numbers covered thus far. Bets are not working on the come out. I suppose you could if you wanted to. It's your choice, but he did not work them. 6-2-8. 8 will be our new point, and dice are out. 2x4-6. All right, so we've hit that 6 again. 42 is going to pay 49. Dealer take me to 90, if you remember the press pattern. So that will go, it's 50 for 1, or 49, yeah, 50 for 1. And you get $1 back out of that, and you now have 90 on the 6. Nice out. And a 4-3-7. So we only got, 3 hits that time, and only got half our money back, basically, because we didn't get much when we pressed up that 6 the second time. On to shooter number 4. Can we get one of these shooters to help us out a little bit, man? May have to stick around for an extra shooter, use some of that we've won thus far. All right, setting a point. Dice are out. New shooter, 6-3-9. 9 is going to be our point. The 122 out. 25 on the 5 and 9. 36 on the 6 and 8. 122 to table max is what he's been calling his series. He has also done it live. He plays a lot in the casino. He also has some other things on his channel besides just gambling. He does some restaurant reviews and a few other things. There's a 6-2-8. All right, that 8 is going to pay. Whoops, I didn't get my 36 on there. There we go. That 8 is going to pay 42. 36 pays 42. Dealer, take me to 42. 36 will go back to the rack. Nice out. 538, right back on it. All right, we'll take that. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. You'll get $1 back because you're going to go to 90. Dealer, take me to 90, and there you go. Dice out. 628, right back on it. We'll take it. All right, that is going to pay 105. And now you have a choice. You don't have to use that press pattern. The press pattern goes up to 180 next. If you want to be a little more conservative, you can just go to 120, start collecting some of that money. I did that myself when I was playing a couple of times just to make sure I got some of my money back. But, you know, if you're going to go for it and try to get to table max, we'll go ahead and do the max bet press pattern. We're going to get $15 back, and we're at 180 on our 8 dice out. Aces, a spot and a dot. No help, no harm. And there's an ace deuce. See a horn, bet a horn. No help, no harm. Whoa, got some jumpy dice. There's a 639. That is our point. And we'll get that number covered as well. So that is going to go off. 25 pays 35. Dealer, take me to 35. So you're going to get a quarter. Going back to your rack. And we're looking for a new point. Same shooter, dice out. 628. That's the big number right there at 180. Nice out. And we hit it. There we go. All right, buckshot. We'll take it. 180 is going to pay 210. You're now going to go to 360, and we're back at that 36, but with a 0 on the end. So we'll get a little bit back. We're going to get 30 back to be exact. So there's 3 black chips, 2 green, and 2 red. Takes us to 360. We get $30 back. All right, dice are out. Looking for a new point again. We're back right on the 8. Or right back on the 8, I guess you could say. Let's hit it one more time. Nice out. Can we get 4 8s in a row? No, there's a 314. No help, no harm. And another 314. At this point, you're probably saying, why aren't you on the 4 or 10? Well, we could be, but we're not. So there's a 527. All right, so shooter number 4 did us all right. Don't know that we got all of our money back. We got most of it back. But we had that one number starting to make its way towards table max, whatever the table max is at your casino. Some of them, they're 5,000, some it's 3,000, some it's 10,000. That all depends on what you're playing, what table minimum you're playing. This is basically for a $25 table, so we'll just call it that. All right, look at that shooter. Boom, boom, boom. We're getting a little bit better each shooter. So shooter number 5, can he be the one, he or she? There is a 5, 3, 8. 8 will be our point. And we got our 122. 30 or 25 on the 5 and 9, 36 on the 6 and 8. Get that set up. We'll go another shooter or 2 if we need to, if we've got time. I think we're only about 13 minutes in or so. Hopefully we don't have a quick exit here on this shooter. Let's get some of those inside numbers. There's a 6-5, yo, 11, no help. And a 6-2-8. All right, we'll take it. That is our point, but it's also going to pay us our first hit. There's 36 paying 42. Dealer, take me to 42. 36 back to the rack. Nice out. New point coming. There is a 6-2-8 right back on it. Seeing a pattern after that last shooter. 6-4-10. Nothing there. Dice out. Ace, deuce, 3 craps. And a 5-2-7. So yeah, we are going to get wiped out here on those 5 shooters. And we don't have a whole lot of time into this video. I hope you get the gist of the strategy, but we can go ahead and pull another 122 out of here. Yeah, we'll get that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and get a point set, and then we'll grab some chips from what we've won thus far and go on to shooter number 6. There's an ace, deuce, 3 craps. And a 5-3-8. That is going to be our point. And we'll take 122 from one of our wins there. There's a bunch of quarters. There's enough for one more quarter. And then we got to get 36. And there we go. All right, so we got a little bit left over there, but I don't know if we have enough for another shooter, but we'll see. See if we can't do something with shooter number 6. There's aces, a spot, and a dot. That's all that we got. There is a 4-1-5. 25 is going to pay 35. Dealer, take me to 35, so you'll get a quarter going back to your rack. Nice out. 5-1-6. All right, 36 pays 42. Dealer, take me to 42. So we got 2 numbers paid for. Paid for in quotes. See it how you want to see it. Call it how you want to call it. Nice out. We're trying to get to where we're working with profit. There is an ace deuce, 3 craps. Dice out. Hard 6. All right, there's another hit on that 6. 42 will pay 49 or 50 for 1. And dealer, take me to 90. So we'll take that dollar back to the rack. And we have 3 red, 3 green. That makes 90 on the 6. Dice out. 6-2-8. All right, that's point hit. And we're also going to get paid for that. 36 pays 42. Dealer, take me to 42. And 36 back to the rack. Getting close. We need that 9 hit. Dice out. Looking for a new point. 5-1-6. All right. 6 is our point. And dice are out. Let's go shooter. 3-2-5. All right. 35 pays 49 or 50 for 1. Dealer, take me to 75. So we're going to go to 75 on the 5. Put $10 going back to the rack. All right. Dice out. Hard 8. All right. Let's see. 42 pays 49 or 50 for 1. Dollar back to the rack. Take my 8 up to 90. We now got the 6 and the 8 at 90. Dice out. 6-5, yo, 11. Get that one out of the corner there. No help, no harm. 4-1-5. All right, 75 is going to pay 105. Dealer, take me to 150. So we'll get 30 going back to the rack, and we're basically in profit for this shooter. So let's keep on going and keep at it. 4-2-6. 90 is going to pay 105. Dealer, take me to 180. That is the black chip, 3 of those green and 1 of the red. So we'll get 3 red going back to the rack. Let's go ahead and swap some of those out, color them up. There's 5 for a quarter, just so I don't want stuff falling down over there. Dice out. 3-2-5. All right, that's another good one. 150 is going to pay 210. And we're going to go to 250. So that kind of brings us back to the 25, but with a 0 on the end. So there's 2 and 50. And now we get to take a little chunk back to the rack. There's 110 going back. All right, nice out. We had to go one more shooter to get that, that long roll for us. There's a 3-1-4, nothing there. 3-2-5. All right, we will take that. 250 is going to pay 350. And then we go to, what is it, 25 pays 35. You go to what, 4? 250 pays 350. You go to 350. Okay, so we go to 350. That's right. Okay, so we go to 350. So 250 going back to the rack. Had to get my chart out there. Dice out. And a 4-3-7. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and end it there. That shooter number 6 kind of did what we wanted them to do. They got us back in the game a little bit. We'll take all this down and see where we ended up. We started out with 650. We'll go ahead and get all these over here so we can color them up. It is the 122 to table max as seen on CZVegas' channel, CZVegas. And Chicago Mike is his name. I'll put a link down below in the description for his channel. Again, he has other stuff on there besides just gambling. Restaurants, some shows. He does some collaborations with other content creators. Let's go color these up. There's 5 white for a red. And we'll color up the red. There's 5, 5, and 5. That's 75. We'll take that. So that'll be 3 green. We might have climbed back up. Let's see. There's 4, 4, and 4. That is 300. So let's now count these out. There is 675. So yes, we did make it a little bit into the profit. 680, 683. Starting out with 650. So we made a whopping $33 after 6 shooters, but you can see the potential as long as you can get a couple of good rollers in there, a couple of good shooters. Long rolls is what I meant to say. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. The 122 to table max, a different perspective or a different strategy on that inside betting. Instead of 110 or 88 or 66 or 220, it is the 122. All right, so that is going to do it for this one. If you'd like to email us, you could do it right down there at crapstx@gmail.com. I'd like to thank our two partners, pokerchipmania.com and gripmats.etsy.com. Links for both of those in the description below. That is going to do it for this one. We had some fun because we actually won a little bit there. This is CrapsTX. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe and bell on your way out. My name is Keith. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Puck is off. Straighten it up. Okay, bye.